Hello and welcome to the UkeStuff channel. Today we're going to be looking at the tutorial for the ukulele play-alongs of Shattered Dreams by Johnny Hates Jazz. In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at the chords that are used. We're going to take a look at the strumming. And we'll do that for both GCEA, so soprano concert or tenor ukulele, as well as baritone DGBE ukulele. I want to mention a couple of other things. If you look in the description below, you can find timestamps that will take you to the part of the video that might apply most to you. And also, we have a new partnership with ukestuff.com. So if you look in the description, you'll see a link that will take you to a chord sheet, or what a lot of people call tabs, of this song on ukestuff.com. Now let's take a look at the chords for GCEA soprano concert or tenor ukulele. Today I'll be using kind of a special instrument. This is a solid mahogany ko'olana. It's kind of an interesting story with these. Ko'oloha has had a couple import lines over the years, and their first attempt was with a Chinese company that was making a solid mahogany model. And they were all gloss, as you can see, even the fretboard, which is kind of crazy. But there was a lot of weird discoloration issues like these. And after a few of those were distributed, the company just pulled the line and decided to do it differently. And that's where the Opio line started coming into play. So it's still a really nice ukulele. There's just not many of these around. A lot of them were just returned and I think destroyed. So this is kind of a special little soprano ukulele. So let's take a look at the chords that you'll be using with GCEA soprano concert or tenor ukulele. You've got the E minor chord, one of my favorite chords to play. A lot of the books will show that you should also play the 4-string 4th fret. You don't have to. You can just leave that with the first 3 fingers. Then the B minor chord. Now the secret again with a bar chord is to let force kind of do most of its work. If you're holding the ukulele right, you can pull against the ukulele with your left hand, or if you're a righty with your right, or if you're a lefty with your right hand, but you can pull against the uke and then just support it with your thumb, which will give you a clear sound. And then I use my 3rd finger on the 4th-string 4th fret to get that B minor chord. Then you've got the C chord, the A minor chord, the D chord, however you want to play it. I usually play D like an upside down V, like a G7 chord. I put my 2nd finger at the top of that 3rd string 2nd fret, and then I put the other 2 around it. A lot of people do 1, 2, 3. Some people even do it with 1 finger. Whatever works for you can be used there. Then you have the A chord. Then we make the switch into the next key. So the first chord there is F minor. And again, use your pinky where you normally play the C chord to get that there. Then the E flat chord, another chord that shows playing all of those strings together. Now some people will do 1 finger here, 1st finger on the 1st string 1st fret, and then reach over and with their 3rd finger bend it like that and play the other 3 strings. I typically just play E flat. I leave the 4th string open, so I just play with the 1st finger and then reach down with the 2nd finger to the 3rd string, 3rd fret, and then my 3rd finger to the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Basically the same exact chord, whichever way works for you. Then the B flat chord, again, with a partial bar chord, the same thing applies. You pull against the neck, and that should give the cutoff of what you need, and then you just need to support lightly with the thumb to get that force there, but then you put the other 2 fingers down, and then you get your B flat chord. Then the C sharp minor chord, again another bar chord. Now if your ukulele isn't set up right, you might have a lot of space between the 1st fret and the string, making this chord really hard to play. So having a good setup on a ukulele does matter, but if you pull all those strings against you and then put the 4th finger on the 1st string 4th fret, you'll get the C sharp. It's just like the C, but up 1 half step, 1 fret up. And then the final chord in the song is the B flat minor, really A sharp minor, but it's enharmonic, which means that they are spelled differently but sound the same on a fretted instrument like the ukulele. You're going to bar, again, that first fret, and then reach over with your third finger, fourth string, third fret. And that's the B flat minor. It's just like the B minor earlier. Those are the chords you need for Shattered Dreams by Johnny Hates Jazz on GCEA Ukulele. Now let's take a look at the chords that you'll need for Shattered Dreams on baritone DGBE Ukulele. For this video, most of my videos, I have one baritone. This is my mainland baritone. It has a cedar top with rosewood back and sides. So let's take a look at those chords. The first chord is the E minor chord, then the B minor chord. Now, again, a lot of the books will show that you can play the 4-string 4th fret as well, but you can also just play it with the first 3 fingers. Then the C chord, add 1 finger to A minor, your very standard D chord, and your very standard A chord. Then we switch keys and we add the F minor. This is our first bar chord with baritone. So what you want to do is you want your first finger to do most of the work pulling the ukulele towards you. Now, since we're in this first fret, your setup of your ukulele does matter. If the action at the nut is really high, it makes this one really hard to pull down because there's a lot of gap to go from that nut to press down that first fret. So a ukulele setup where they adjust the height of your strings to be optimal is really a good thing. So if your ukulele hasn't been set up and this chord is really hard, that might be the reason why. Yeah, it does take practice and it will hurt for a while, but eventually if your ukulele is set up right, it's easier to play. So this F minor chord, you bar that first fret, not being on the middle fret, but being right behind it, and you pull against the ukulele. And you should get most of the sound, and then you can just support it lightly with the thumb, and you don't have to work very hard to play that at all. Then reach over with your, in my case, I use my ring finger, my third finger, on the 4th string, 3rd fret, and that's your F minor chord. The next chord is a little tricky. It's the E flat chord. It's built on the 3rd fret. So what I do is I play, there's 2 ways to do this, by the way. I can play what would be normally your D shape, and I move it up a half step, and then I can add my pinky on the 4th string 5th fret. Or what I can do is I can bar the 3rd fret and then add the next 2 fingers. So then I'd add my 2nd finger on the 2nd string 4th fret and my 3rd finger on the 4th string 5th fret again. And that's the same exact chord either way. That's your E flat chord. The next comes that B flat chord. There are 2 ways to play it. You can play the 1st string with the 1st finger on the 1st fret and then play with the 2nd finger and 3rd fingers on strings 3 and 2 on the 3rd fret. You can shift those fingers over to get 2, 3, 4 down there in a row. So you're now playing strings 4, 3, and 2 on the 3rd fret, and then add the first string on top with the 1st finger on the 1st fret. Or you can even try to do one of these crazy things where you play this note with 1 finger, 1st string, 1st fret, but then you bend your 3rd finger to cover strings 2, 3, and 4. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, normally with baritone, the spacing is a little larger than GCEA, so I'm just not quite as used to that on baritone. But that's your B flat chord. Then you've got your C sharp chord. It's a lot like the E flat chord we saw previously. 2 ways you can do it. You can do it with a bar chord, and 2nd finger goes on the 2nd string 2nd fret. 3rd finger goes on the 4th string 3rd fret. You can do it that way, or you can play it like the D chord. Just move it back 1 fret, and then add your pinky on the 4th string 3rd fret. The final chord is the B flat minor chord or the A sharp minor chord. They're enharmonic chords, so they are spelled differently but sound the same. So you start off by building the same shape as B minor earlier, but then you do have to add the fourth finger on the fourth string, third fret. Now, some people want to cover that last string with just the tip of the third finger and do it that way. But I find myself also sometimes even switching first, second, third finger going to the fourth string, fourth finger tucking underneath it. Whatever works for you, if that pattern or that shape works for you, any one of those ways, you can feel free to play it any one of the ways that would work for you. The catch is to be able to change to it as you need it in the song. So those are the chords you need for baritone DGBE ukulele on this song. When it comes to strumming, I find myself going to the island strum for this song, which is kind of interesting, but it seems to work. Now, again, there's no swing to it. It's all straight, but listen to what happens. If we're looking at the island strum again on the E minor chord is down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. And the great secret with the island strum is just to keep your hand going all the time and just miss the strings when you don't need to play them. Now, with this progression, it's going from E minor to B minor to C to A minor. And this is how I hear it, and this works for the whole song. 1, 2, ready, go. And that basically will take you through the entire song. Just be ready for the key change. Yeah, there are some tricky chords here and there, but pretty much that's all you need to know to be successful on Shattered Dreams. Thanks so much for watching this video. Thank you, Jeb, for requesting this song. And we'll be back with more content in the future, so thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.